Hey, welcome to the channel. I am musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. We are in the 2009 self-titled album from 21 Pilots at track number 6, March to the Sea. Here's a little synopsis about this song, and then we'll jump in it together. March to the Sea explores humanity's tendency to follow the crowd, choosing the comfort of conformity over the challenge of truth, drawing inspiration from Sherman's Civil War campaign, because I've heard Tyler, I don't know, I'd be curious to see if in any interviews, but I've heard that he draws on history a lot. Is he a history buff? Does he have a wealth of knowledge around history? But it says, drawing inspiration from Sherman's Civil War campaign, the song paints a picture of weary souls marching toward despair, some even toward death, until a final voice calls out, urging them to turn back and find hope instead. This is track number 6, March to the Sea.
There's miles of land in front of us, and we're dying with every step we take. We're dying with every breath we make. And I'll fall in line. A stranger's back is all I see. He's only a few feet in front of me, and I'll look left and right sometimes. But I'll fall in line. No one looks up anymore.
Wow, he's painting such a vivid picture, right? Just this monotony of standing in line. But at the same time, there are people within it. Like, there are people that will just fall in line and will never question, never second guess, never look outside. But I could picture, like, I don't know if there's a music video for this, but if there is, or if there was, I can just picture him standing in line, but there's just something that causes him to kind of, look and wonder. And there's kind of this inkling of like, something's got to break out in you. Something's got to be different. Something can't just keep going the way everyone else is going. And so it just paints this really vivid picture. And also the struggle. Like, I'll look left and right sometimes, but I'll fall in line. I wonder if in the song he'll break out of that.
'Cause you might get a raindrop in your eye, and heaven forbid they see you cry. As we fall in line, and about this time of every year, the line will go to the ocean pier and walk right off into the sea. And then we fall asleep.
Wow, I wonder if that's a picture of death. We'll go look at the lyrics a little more in depth in a moment. But this idea that, like, there is an end to it, a falling off this ocean pier where people they're just standing in line all the way to the edge, and people keep falling over the edge and over the edge. This is the longest track so far on the album. Oh, come on. Let me paint the picture for you guys as I walk through these albums, because I don't cheat. I don't listen ahead. And so it's like unlocking achievements. I'm like, every time I hear something that I love, I'm like, yes, I finally get to listen to it, like, freely, whenever I want. So you just have to imagine it's almost like on a video game system, getting 100% achievement trophy. Like, once we finish the library, I am free, baby, to listen to whatever I want from them. And so that's why I love finishing an album, because then I can just let the album run. Like, right now, I can only go up to certain parts in the album. And so once I finish it, I can just play the album and just listen and listen and listen.
As we near the end of land, just beyond the sand. I ask myself the question why. I fall in line, then out of the corner of my eye, I see a spaceship in the sky, and hear a voice inside my head. Follow me instead. Follow me instead. Follow me.
Gosh, these guys are so talented. I'm wondering who's doing the mixing in all of this and the production primarily, if it's Tyler, because even with the drum set, the there are these like echo effects happening, and that's probably post production, but it just like the kit sounds so different. And that's gotta be, I mean, it could be part of what the kit is, but the way they're mixing it, the additional things they're adding on top of it is just next level. It's all these little touches that make their sound so like vibrant and layered. So good. Even that sound, it almost sounds like a mandolin, or is that what you know those boards? They're usually used in like Chinese, I think. Um, they're like a board with strings all over it that they pluck, or they have like picks on their fingers to hit. That's almost what it sounds like. Ging, ging. I'll drop back a little bit. I mean, obviously you can get the same effect from a guitar, but it sounds different.
Then the wages of war will start inside my head with my counterparts, and the emotionless marchers will chant the phrase, "This line's the only way." And then I start down the sand. My eyes are focused on the end of land, but again the voice inside my head,
Yeah, come on.
says, "Follow me instead." Follow me instead. Follow me. Follow me instead. 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 Take me up, seal the
So
door.
cool.
I don't wanna march here anymore. I realize that this line is dead, so I'll follow you instead. So then you put me back in my place, so I might start another day. And once again, I will be in a march to the sea.
That'll be interesting to take a listen to or look at what he's conveying there. Oh my goodness. That one's going on the playlist. Get it. Oh, playlist is gonna be full. Um, I love that. I really want to look at what he was talking about in that end part. I think there was another lyric that stood out to me too. This wages of war will start, obviously, because once you're confronted with the option for something different, the war begins. What will you do? I think I mentioned this in a different video, maybe on one of the John Bellion tracks. Um, One of my favorite books that I've ever read is by an author, Mark Batterson. Um, he pastors or pastored a church in Washington and has written a lot of really cool books. Just an incredible author. In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day is one of them. But anyways, he has a book called Wild Goose Chase. And the premise of the book is that it's a name that old Celtic Christians gave for the Holy Spirit. And the premise, as he tells it, or like the introduction, is that you can just imagine if you're sitting in your living room and the door bursts open and this wild goose runs in and just destroys your living room, knocks lamps over, spills stuff, throws the pillows up, and just turns your living room upside down and then shoots right out the door, left the door open. That you really have these two options. You can either stand up and put everything back the way it was. And in the essence of this song, it's kind of that idea of falling back in line. Like you can look around, you can see this spaceship, but you might just choose to fall back in line because that's where your comfort's at. That's where maybe it makes sense. Or you can get up, go out the door, and follow the wild goose and see where he takes you. And in the same sense, like I said, following the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God. Like, where is he leading you in life, taking you out of your comfort zone, challenging you, convicting you, teaching you, all of these things. And so the same idea, war wages inside. It starts with my counterparts. Yes, these different sides of you that are like, no, do it this way. No, do it that way. The motionless marchers will chant the phrase, this line's the only way. And then I start down the sand. Okay. Take me up, seal the door. I don't want to march here anymore. This line is dead. I'll follow you instead. So then you put me back in my place. So what I was thinking was that it was trying to say like, so then you put me back in my place. Almost this idea of recognizing that, yes, like when you're following God, you have to realize that there still is this entrance into the ordinary. Like you still have laundry to do. You still have dishes to clean. You still have, some people, may go off and do these grand adventures, but not to ever feel like life in and of itself can't be the grand adventure. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost. That's where a lot of midlife crisis happens. They're like, and listen, I've thought about it too. For nearly a decade, I read to my children nearly, I could count on one hand the times I missed reading to them every single night. And as they got older, my daughter's about to turn 10, we went from picture books into chapter books. And then as they've gotten older, obviously we don't necessarily do the reading at night before bed every single night. And so my nighttime routine still happens with them. Like I go in and I scratch my daughter's back and I sing her the same song every single night, and then I wind her little music maker thing, and that's how we do bedtime. And then I go and I give both my sons a kiss on the head and tell them good night. But the thought has entered my head sometimes that it's like, you do this every single night, and you will continue to do this every single night. Now, don't get me wrong, because the good side's coming. I'm just saying these are the thoughts that enter your mind. I'm going to brush my teeth every single day? Yeah. Yes, you do. I got to unload the dishwasher and load the dishwasher. And you can allow there's one side of you that can cause good things to erupt from that and say in an introspection of like, am I wasting my life? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? But The other side of it is the lie that's like, oh, like, is this all your life is about? Oh, because the reality is you have to be able to also see the sacred that is in the everyday, that God works among you and in you in the beauty that, like, I have a home that, of course, every home has its challenges. We're humans. But man, I have worked hard. My wife has worked hard to create a home that is full of love and joy and peace and laughter. And like when there are issues, we address it, but we do it with wisdom. And we have this tight bond with our children because we're doing something different in our family. And so realizing the beauty of, like, my dishwasher is full or my sink has dishes because we eat family. We don't eat family. That would be that's a different thing. I am not starting cannibalism in my family. No, we eat at the table together, 5, 6, 7 nights out of the week. And so we have a lot of dishes. There's a lot of laundry because, man, we're blessed to be able to walk into our closet and go, what do I want to wear today? And we're involved in sports and these other things. And I get to go and sit with my daughter and scratch her back and sing her a song 365 nights out of the year. Not always. There are some that I miss, obviously. Um, but for illustration's sake, 365 nights out of the year. And I won't have that forever, though. She'll be out of my house one day. And yet, every single day that I do that is continuing to instill something in her of a father who loves her and cherishes her and couldn't imagine, her going to sleep not knowing that he loves her deeply. Same with my sons. So, anyways, thanks for following me on that. Because you can believe the lie that there is, that you have to just go off on these grand adventures, but I need you to see the beauty and the adventure that is even in the mundane. So I was curious though, like, if you put me back in my place, that's what I was partly thinking. Is like, yeah, okay, rocket ship type thing, but yeah, you still got to show up every day to life. So let's see what it says here. Spacecraft representing God is taking him back to his home, which is a metaphor for him going back to the way he was and no longer conforming. Okay. God makes him a new creation, basically, as when restarting. That's what I was thinking. So I might start another day, and once again, I will be in a march. This is where I got confused. Is he saying, like, we'll read it in a second. The thought that's like, did you forget? Have you gone back to just the way things were versus, sure, and maybe he is just saying, I have a different perspective, because the reality is we are still marching toward death. We will all die one day, unless we're alive when Jesus returns. So maybe that's what he's saying, is he has a new perspective, a new understanding, and yet he knows he's still in this line, that's marching toward an end. But let's see if this gives us any better understanding. Once you start to recognize the nature of reality, begin to hear the voice of follow me instead, you're taken up and the door is sealed. For some reason, we have this grandiose idea of being whisked away by angels to some heavenly place. Okay, this is very similar to what I was just talking about. Remember, that is a common belief. This song is all about questioning the status quo. There's a famous Taoist saying that goes something like this: before enlightenment, chop wood and collect water. Exactly. After enlightenment, chop wood and collect water. Beautiful. Yes, so that's what I was saying. In this verse, he is saying his place is starting another day in a march to the sea. He is already in his place where he should be. Another interpretation is, after your current march to the sea, you'll be reincarnated into another march to the sea. So enjoy your march and march to the beat of your own drum. I mean, if you're following Tyler's Christian beliefs, then this wouldn't be, you'll be reincarnated. That's not a belief, in Christianity. It does remind me, there was a book on my shelf. Will you guys bear with me for just a second? Hold on just a second. This may be a fool's errand because I don't know if I can find it. Especially in the there's a lot of pressure, you guys. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. You know what? I'll probably be able to Google it faster than I can find it on my shelf. You guys bear with me. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm on to it. Here we go. Yes. Okay. This right here. The practice of the presence of God. This is what my version looks like. It's a very, very small book. I like small books. But yeah, that's the whole point. Is he kind of talks about finding God even among, doing the dishes and things like that. So obviously you can see it's a pretty cheap book. $6.28. So if you're looking for a good read, I gave you two. Mark Batterson's Wild Goose Chase or The Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence. Thank you for joining me for this video. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. If there's anything I missed, let me know. Let me know what this song means to you. Thanks for being in this one. I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.